Hello, welcome to another edition of Issues with JIDE. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our national and political landscape and how these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, EFCC guns for ex-Governor Yahaya Bello, and later on the show, son's paternity mess. Court orders Mohbad's wife to surrender herself for DNA test. In the course of the program, we take your questions, but first subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. It's important to mention that we can only read comments with human names are the ones based on the subject matter. I have joining me via Zoom, the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. Good to see you again, BKO.
Yeah, good to do this with you, Brian.
That's right.
Good evening to our viewers.
Yeah, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has declared the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, wanted for offences relating to economic and financial crimes to the tune of 80.2 billion naira. He has since been evading arrest. How have you been following this developing story?
Yes, I've been following it for some time, and I had to comment on it for the first time yesterday on Journalist Hangout, because I don't like making my opinion known on an issue until I have looked at that issue thoroughly, until I have done my own spade work on that issue. What I see clearly is a governor or a former governor who got a restraining order on February 9 at the Kogi State High Court, Lokoja Division.
Yeah.
That restraining order banning the EFCC by itself or its agents from harassing, arresting, or detaining or prosecuting Yahaya Bello pending the determination of the substantive suit has not been vacated. The ideal thing for the EFCC to do was to vacate that order, get the judge to vacate the order, or go to a superior court and get that order vacated. What the EFCC tried to do was simply to resort to self-help. They appealed. On the eve of the appeal court sitting on the matter, they decided to storm Yahaya Bello's house. Now, I have to make this clear because people are quick to misunderstand you as long as you are not reasoning the way they are reasoning. We will never all reason the same way because we have access to different pieces of information and all that. Some don't have access to the information that you have. So you are not likely to look at issues the same way. So Yahaya Bello just felt that since I have this restraining order, why should I surrender myself to the EFCC? In any case, as is usually the case when dealing with big men, whether they are musicians or other big people, the EFCC will write to you, invite you. They don't always like to go and pluck you out of your house and drag you to their headquarters to detain you. They will send you an invitation to come and answer some questions at their headquarters. Governor Kayode Fayemi received a similar invitation, and he had to go to Ilorin, the Ilorin zonal office of the EFCC, to answer some questions that had to do with his stewardship as governor of Ekiti State. But in the case of in the case of Yahaya Bello, there was no invitation extended to him to come and answer some questions at the EFCC. And the reason for that is clear. Because of that restraining order that he got on February 9, the EFCC knew that it will amount to contempt of court to send a letter inviting Yahaya Bello to come and answer questions at their office. If you ask the EFCC to provide a letter written by them to Yahaya Bello asking him to come, invite him to come and answer questions at their end, they will not be able to provide it. And I do not blame them, because without restraining order, you will be in contempt of the courts. If you try to do anything like harassing, arresting, and even prosecuting him until the determination of that case. That is what the order says. One thing is clear. Our politicians always find a way to stop the will of justice. Our politicians use the court injunctions a lot. That is a fact. Yahaya Bello has used it in this case. Do I like court injunctions? Especially the way it is used by politicians? The answer is no. I've always complained about this court injunction. I've always demanded that the NJC, which is the regulator of the judiciary, needs to do something about frivolous injunctions and all that. But once an injunction is given, you have to obey it. And you have options. If you do not want that injunction to continue to run, you go before the court that gave the injunction, get that injunction vacated, get that order vacated, or go to a superior court. In the case of Yahaya Bello, the EFCC appealed this restraining order, but they were not prepared to wait for judgment to happen. Even though a date had been set, on the eve of the appeal being heard, they decided to go to Yahaya Bello's house to try to arrest him. So Yahaya Bello must have felt, since this is unlawful on the part of the EFCC, since I have an order that they have not vacated, I'm still covered within the ambit of the law to refuse to give myself up for them for arrest. Of course, they went to, the EFCC had gone, went to take an order, the warrant of arrest from a court. Again, as long as you have not vacated that order given by a court of concurrent jurisdiction with the one that gave you that warrant, you cannot execute that order. Only a superior court can give an order, can give a directive that will countermand an earlier directive given by that Kogi High Court Local General Division that gave that order on February 9. As I've said yesterday on Journalist Hangouts, Kogi is my state. I've heard a lot about what transpired during the last administration. I will be happy to see Yahaya Bello put on trial. The EFCC says he has stolen so much. They said he stole 80 billion. I've had such things in the past. I am too experienced a journalist to simply believe all of those stories until the court says otherwise. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Adoke, was put on trial for 7 years. His case was decided just recently. And in open court, the EFCC admitted that it did not have enough evidence to prosecute the case. And you wasted the man's time for more than 7 years. He could not practice as a lawyer. He lost money. He sold some of his properties to be able to pay legal fees. This is what happens. So the EFCC has a lot to do. It has to be better organized than it is currently. And the person who heads the EFCC is a lawyer. You know that once there is an interim order of a court, you have to find a way to set it aside. You cannot take the law into your own hands. I can feel how Nigerians, because Nigerians are very angry with politicians because of the way they've treated us, because of the way politicians have generally misled us as a nation. I can understand the anger of people, but things have to be done the right way. I asked a lawyer last night on Journalist Hangout that if you were in Yahaya Bello's shoes, would you have behaved the way he behaved? And he said yes. As far as he knows that he's covered by the order of the court, he will not give himself up for them to arrest. Because doing that will also amount to him disrespecting the order of a court that he sought and was given.
Yeah.
So it's really this drama that the EFCC do all the time. It's uncalled for. We need to corruption cases are not won through drama sketches. They are not won on the pages of newspapers. You will win a case, a corruption case, based on the way you marshal your points, the kind of evidence that you bring forward. Not creating drama when there's absolutely no need. If you were due to appear in court, why should you then make the move to arrest the person less than 48 hours to your appearance in court? This is what people are not talking about.
Yeah, Biko.
Was it right to behave in the way they have behaved? It's not the first to seek an injunction. In fact, Emefiele sought an injunction banning the DSS from prosecuting him on terrorism charges. He was accused of making money available to terror gangs, terror groups. But he got an injunction. And because of that injunction, the DSS could not proceed with his trial for terrorism. All of the charges that they brought against him are not related to terrorism because they've not been able to vacate that order. That order given by a judge, a female judge, is still there. They've not been able to vacate it. So if you look at all of the cases they brought lately against Emefiele, that terrorism charge is not one of them. And it is for a reason. Because that injunction has already barred you from proceeding with prosecuting for terrorism.
That's right.
So they've left that. They moved to illegal possession of firearms. Then they moved to financial crimes. If you've been following his case, that is the trajectory. They moved to illegal possession of firearms above, the kind of firearms above his own grade. They moved to financial crimes. That is what they are trying for now. They are not talking about terrorism anymore. Perhaps that's even a much better case. But as long as they had that injunction that has not been vacated, there's nothing they could do. That is what the law says.
Right. So
while I'm embarrassed by the fact that my former governor will be, the former governor of my state will be in this kind of embarrassing situation, I'm also embarrassed that the EFCC chose to go this route.
So are you disagreeing?
Because that's the thing.
Are you disagreeing with the human rights lawyer, Femi Falana, who says that the EFCC is not in violation of Kogi High Court order secured by Yahaya Bello? He said the former governor, he said the order was made without prejudice to the power of the said Federal High Court to make any order as it may deem just in the determination of the rights of the applicant and the respondent as may be submitted to her for consideration and determination.
The last time I checked, Femi Falana is not a judge. He's not a judge. And he has not won every case that he has taken to court. I know that. So a lawyer can be wrong. Lawyers interpret the law in different ways. Was it not a set of lawyers that prosecuted Adoke for 7 years, only to come to court just last month to say before the judge that they didn't have evidence? So I'm not bothered by what Femi Falana says. He's just a lawyer amongst many lawyers. And lawyers can be wrong. What they should have waited, because they appealed. Ibrahim, if you did not have faith in the court, why did you take a case before the court? You took a case before the appeal court, but you didn't want to wait for the appeal court to sit before proceeding to make an effort to arrest. And you got the order to arrest from a court that is not superior to the court that gave the restraining order. Look, we've been around for some time. There are some things that we already know about law. I know, for example, that courts of concurrent jurisdiction can never give an order against a court of concurrent jurisdiction with it. It has to be a higher court that will give an order that will countermand an earlier order. If the courts are the same level, then they are not superior to one another, and a judgment from either of them cannot stand.
So I also disagree with the AGF, who also faults Kogi Governor, saying that EFCC should not be obstructed.
I don't know whether he has seen all of the, whether he is privy to all the facts in respect of the case. I wouldn't know. Because if you think because somebody is an AGF, he cannot make a mistake, I will recall what happened during Malami, when he got an order from a court in the southeast. We came on journalist hangout and we said that order would not stand because they went to the wrong court. We were vindicated. We were vindicated. Now today, Attorney General said they lose case. I mean, things that are so commonsensical. This is what we're talking about. You cannot say the EFCC needs a warrant of arrest. If they want to pick up somebody, that person will ask for the warrant of arrest. Do you have a warrant of arrest? I'm not saying that they should not do their job. What we are saying, and people should understand, people should not be emotional unnecessarily. EFCC has been losing cases against politically exposed persons because those ones can get good lawyers, they can get experienced hands. They always lose these cases. Rarely do they win. And they are prone to mistakes. They make a lot of mistakes. They bring cases that they cannot prove. If it is Yahoo boys, they win a lot of cases against Yahoo boys. But they make a lot of mistakes. And in making mistakes, they allow the politicians to get away. This is the point that we are making. It's not because it's Yahaya Bello. I've been talking about how they bungle cases. Look at what the current chairman of EFCC said recently. He said our investigators and prosecutors sometimes deliberately frustrate cases. If you Google it after this show, you will see where he said it. That's the man who heads the EFCC. He knows that they make mistakes. We that were outside, we that were not lawyers, we also know that they make mistakes. A lot of their work they do on the pages of newspapers. So if the man can come out to say our prosecutors sometimes deliberately bungle cases, then we should be worried. We should be worried. Before you know it now, this matter that they brought against Yahaya Bello may eventually lead to nowhere because they've started badly. This is the point. And at the end of the day, we will not get the truth. Do you know how many big people that they've taken to court, that judges will be abusing them, that they didn't do diligent prosecution, and some people will walk away? So many. This is what I do not want to see. I've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
That the EFCC has to be better organized. The EFCC has to behave like people who understand the law and take the right steps at all times, so that these politicians will not get away with looting our patrimony. But when you make mistakes, sometimes deliberately, if I'm to believe the EFCC chairman, sometimes deliberately they make those mistakes, they investigate badly, sometimes deliberately, then you can see why we have this problem, why they have such a very poor record of conviction of politically exposed persons. I would have loved Yahaya Bello to go to the EFCC the way Fayose went in October 2018. He was wearing that T-shirt. He said, I'm here, EFCC, I'm here. Because they made so much noise, they said, look, we are blocking we are making sure that it does not go through the waterways. We are blocking the borders. We are doing this, we are doing that. And the man was not ready to run away on his own. Accompanied by Wike, he went there, said, see me, oh yeah, arrest me.
That's right. That's right.
More than 5 years after Ibrahim is filed in jail, his case was coming to an end when the EFCC lawyer accused the judge of bias, and they had to start afresh.
Yeah. So
they accused the judge of bias.
You would advise Yahaya Bello to also turn himself in at this point. Is that what you're saying? Very quickly.
If I have my way, and I said it yesterday, I said, it's better he goes to face them. But I'm not Yahaya Bello. He doesn't think the way I think. He thinks that because he had that order, they had no right to come for him.
That's right.
He's being stubborn. He's being stubborn and holding to the fact that he had the law. He had an order that restrained them from arresting him until the determination of the suit. Now the EFCC filed an appeal against that order, but will not wait for the judge to sit in appeal on their matter. On the eve of the sitting was when they went to try to arrest him. Because there's no way the Attorney General will say that he's not aware that at least 2 appearances were due. One was supposed to be on the 23rd of this month.
Yeah.
23rd is just early next week. But they were not prepared to wait. I mean, people who are organized, they don't behave like that. They wait, they take their time. And once they've ensured that they've not gone against the law in any way, they will come up with watertight prosecution that will ensure that you cannot escape.
That's right, Mikhail.
There's a lot that they can learn.
Yeah, because of our time, let me...
London Metropolitan Police will not even take you to court until they have a prima facie case against you.
Yeah. Until
they are sure that you can't get away. Look at what they did in the prosecution of James Ibori. The same James Ibori that they will try to prosecute here, and we failed. They jailed not just James Ibori, they jailed his lawyer, they jailed his girlfriend, they jailed his wife, they jailed his friends.
That's right, BKO.
They
Because of our time.
they decided to build a watertight case. Let's not get emotional. Let's advise the EFCC to do their job the right way.
That's okay, BKO.
Do you know how many
Nelson.
people we can count that have escaped from their hands? They made Bankole, they made a lot of noise. They put him on trial. The court freed him. Even this Baba Oronsaye, they tried Oronsaye for almost 10 years. In the end, the court freed him that he had no case to answer. They tried Adoke. The court said Adoke had no case to answer. Former Minister of Works, Hassan, in fact, the judge abused them in court. That how do you prosecute a case like this? This man has no case to answer. So there's a lot that they need to change about their attitude. It's not just putting up a show, a drama in front of us.
Right.
Some of us are not interested in the drama. They have such a bad record in jailing politicians.
Absolutely, BKO. Nelson Adufe says, having lawyer chairman of EFCC shouldn't play with intelligence of the citizens. The action of forceful arrest of Bello, who had a restraining order, will free him of the supposed punishment he should face. Oluchukwu Kleto says, good evening, Professor BKO and Mr. Shita. Thanks a bunch for the expert analysis all the time, sir. TG Associate says, BKO, Yahaya Bello was still in office as governor when he obtained the order, when he still has immunity. Is it lawful when someone with immunity also gets restraint order at the same time? Abdurrahman Jato says an order of this nature does not expire.
No, Ibrahim, that restraining order came on February 9. February 9, he had left office.
That's right.
February 9, he had left office.
That answers it. Nicholas Yakubu says the EFCC needs to do their job before arresting the ex-governor. Gara too much for my country. Danjuma says, as Nigerians talk about politicians, serious discussions must be had about the courts giving orders not to arrest private citizens. Anyway, BK, we need to move on because our time is actually almost spent. Let's talk about the Mohbad issue, which is the last issue we have for this program. A magistrate court sitting in the Ikorodu area of Lagos State has ordered the singer late Mohbad's wife, Wunmi, be served notice of a pending DNA application by substituted means. What's your thoughts, or what are your thoughts on this interesting situation?
You know, it's such a shame that we lost a fantastic singer, a very talented songwriter in Mohbad, and his death was really touching. He's making so much money now that he's dead. But look at the nonsense going on in his family, between his wife, his dad, his mother. They are fighting one another. And it's easy to know why they are fighting one another. It is all about Mohbad's inheritance. Access to tons of cash once Mohbad is out of the way. These are very selfish people that we are dealing with. And it makes me sad as a person, as a father. Joseph Aloba, Mohbad's father, did not particularly have a good relationship with Mohbad's wife. Mohbad's father believes that Liam, the son of Mohbad, was not fathered by Mohbad. He doubts it so much that that boy is Mohbad's son. You know, it was first suspected, and they were making so much noise on social media that it was Sam Larry, that boy belonged to, the little boy belonged to Sam Larry. They moved from Sam Larry to Obaile Gushi. They've been swearing for Obaile Gushi, calling him names, wishing him dead, wishing Liam dead, claiming that Liam, it was because of Liam that his father was killed. Now, Mohbad's father has taken a step further by going before the magistrate's court in Ikorodu, to demand that Mohbad's wife, Wunmi, be compelled to bring Liam along with her for a DNA test at a recognized center in Lagos. They've been on this for some time. Wunmi claims that she has not received any notice, notice of the court to that effect. And this is the reason many people believe that Wunmi has something to hide, that Wunmi does not want the DNA test to happen. Somehow, people have been led to believe that she's running away from the DNA test. Now, the latest order of the court, the family court, is that the notice should be served on her by substituted means, which means the last known residence, his last known residence, that's where they should go and paste the notice of the court, so that she will know that there is an order of the court that is pending, which is that she should make herself available for a DNA test. She surrender herself and let the DNA be conducted. Honestly, if I am convinced that the child belongs to Mohbad, that Liam is a result of copulation between myself and Mohbad, I won't be afraid to submit myself for a DNA. I won't be afraid. I won't even require the courts to give such an order. But Wunmi has not really been forthcoming on this matter. And this is what is giving all those social media people the feeling that it could be true, after all, that this boy, this little boy, Liam, who celebrated his first birthday recently, may not actually be Mohbad's son. So the matter is still on. And as we speak, even the autopsy is still awaited. Very soon, it will be 1 year since Mohbad died. Mohbad died in September last year. We are moving closer to September.
That's right.
The autopsy report is not out yet. Now we are talking about a DNA.
Yeah. That's right.
Wunmi and her lawyer are saying that they are not even aware that this order was given. In an interview with the BBC, the lawyer said, "We have not seen any order. Have you seen any order? You know?" So, and it's in the news. Everyone can see that it's in the news that the court gave this order and all that. Yet they are telling us that they are not aware of that. It sends a bad signal to people out there that the young woman does not want to do a DNA test.
Yeah.
She's been abusing her father-in-law for some time. Yes, the hatred is mutual. I'm just worried about how divided a family can be. Mohbad's mom does not like the father. Mohbad's mom was even accusing the father of killing Mohbad. And all of that nonsense. The boy is gone, but he deserves his rest. Some of these things that we are hearing hurt and diminish the memory of Mohbad. And I expect Joseph Aloba, Mohbad's father, Mohbad's mom, Mohbad's wife, Wumi, and Wumi's sister, who has been saying all sorts of things, including even claiming that Mohbad used to infect Wumi with venereal diseases, sexually transmitted diseases, and that she was always using antibiotics. It's terrible what the boy has gone through in death and even after his death.
Right, BK.
It's really sad.
BK, we're out of time. Let me just take these 3 comments and then we call it a wrap. Abdurrahman Jato says, Jide, don't be too sure about the paternity of Liam to Mohbad. If you were Mohbad's dad, what would you do when Mohbad gave hints about Wumi's escapade? Folashade Olaroye says, it's a pathetic case. Why are people interfering with the case? They should wait for autopsy and toxicology reports to ascertain what killed Mohbad. Nelson says, the DNA should be made and truth should be in the public space. Since we cannot lay hands on his killers and justice be done, paternity of Liam Aloba should be confirmed and we should know who owns Liam. I guess this is in reaction to Mohbad's father saying that he wanted to name Mohbad's his grandson Victor, but then the wife, Mohbad's wife, went ahead to name him Liam. Your final thoughts on this as we wrap, because we are actually running out of time.
There's no big deal about that. Victor would be one of his names. That's the way it should be. The mother reserves the right to give him a name.
He said that Liam is an Islamic name. He said Liam is an Islamic name, so he was wondering where that was from.
It doesn't matter. We have friends who are Christian who have Islamic names. What's in the name after all? They just need to. You see, contrary to the last statement I was read, I'm not sure about the paternity of the boy. I've not said anything here that suggests that I trust me. We've seen even on what's this Yoruba program? Kokoro Alate. You've seen where 2 individuals are fighting over a little boy. At the end of the day, neither of them, the DNA showed that neither of them actually owns the child. So we've seen funny things happen, strange things. It will be difficult for me to say I'm sure that Wumi was faithful to Mohbad throughout. I'm sure that child belongs to Mohbad. I would not say that. I would be very stupid to say that. We can only wait. Wumi should allow a DNA to take place and let us wait and see the results.
That's right. So based on research, based on Google, it says Liam is a boy's name given of Irish origin. So it's named from Ireland. So it has no root in Arabic. So I guess Mohbad's father was wrong in saying that Liam is an Islamic name.
Yes. Yes.
So, and that's our show for today's edition of Issues with JIDE. Special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, for those insightful analyses, as always. And thanks to you, too, our audience, for keeping our company on every edition. Thank you, BKO.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, our viewers. God bless you.
You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG. I'm also at Ibrahim TVC News. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.